Good morning. So here we are again at another Carb Sober Sunday. Hello, Neil. Thank you for joining in. I am here in Bozeman, Montana. I've been here for the past week, and just the past 2 days was another fabulous meetup. Uh, Bella, Steak and Butter Gal, hosted here. And they are just magical. They're so empowering, they're so motivating, and I hope if any of you out there have not ever yet been to a meetup, you get yourself to one. You can go to lowcarbevents.com to try to see. There's just a partial listing of whoever lists or posts it there, but um, try to get yourself to one, even if you have to drive far or fly, because you make a trip out of it and you will see how really empowering it is to be around others who are like minded. And we had Dr. Baker, Dr. Kiltz, myself, Dr. Phil, who is on the team of Steak and Butter Gang, and we had a Q&A of a doctor panel up there for a couple hours of people who attended. I think there was about 125 there. And just speaking to so many that came up to me and said, "This has just been so great. I'm so glad I came." And some people who came solo. And I know in the past, um, I, for 5 years, hosted, the Northeast meetup, and I had about 125 attend in a beautiful park setting. I had a rancher come down, with his meats and cooked for us, and it's the community of it, and I find that this is so hard to go solo, to be, um, in this uh, really isolated. It is a little isolating. I hate to say that, but you know what I mean when your friends, your family, your coworkers, nobody gets it. Nobody's doing it. It's so refreshing to be around people who do get it and who want to talk about it and eat meat with you and not judge your plate. And so um, that's why I think I've been done the queen of meetups, because I've been very passionate to host a meetup wherever I travel to. I just did one in Palm Springs 2 weeks ago. I attended Healing Humanities meetup in Boston last week. And time again, people have come up to me and said, "I'm so glad I came." And I've had people who reached out to me prior to one of my meetups and said, "I'm a little nervous. I don't know anybody. What is this going to be like?" And I said, "Come on over. We're all friendly. You're going to have an amazing time. And you will leave with lots of contact information and newfound friends." So I always say, don't be hesitant. You will not be you will not be a wallflower on the sidelines at any sort of meetup. So that's my little plug for meetups. And I am so grateful to how many people in the past 3 weeks and the three meetups, the Palm Springs, the Boston, and here in Bozeman, who came up to me and said, "I so enjoy your Carb Sober Sundays. I get my hot water with lemon out, and you're my morning voice, and it's so calming, and I love listening to you." And it just so touched me, because sometimes I think, I don't know, am I gonna come on here again? These people gonna wanna listen to me, but I love to be able to just talk about things that I've learned along the way. And so let me jump over here in the comments, because I have to catch a plane. It's 7 a.m. here in Bozeman, and I said, "Oh gosh, it's perfect timing. I can do this, finish zipping up my suitcase and catch an Uber." So, good morning, Teresa, Christine, Cheryl. So yeah, Cheryl says she's been enjoying the posts that I've been doing on my mountain hikes here. I've been to Bozeman, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, but it's I came to it this time in a different, whole different mindset, and Oh, it took my breath away just being out, up on the mountains and hiking along the waterfalls and realizing, you start thinking, there is something very important about staying in the now and not having regrets and, um, bad feelings about things that have happened in the past, things that you've done in the past. Just we have nothing but right now to focus on and enjoy and be grateful for and move forward in a positive direction. And I'm working really hard, and I will just say this here, and it's because I'm working on it too, but thoughts 100 well, thousands, I forget, there's a something I heard, like, we have 52,000 thoughts every day, and it's that internal dialogue that goes on, and think to yourself how much of that dialogue is negative, like, "Oh, or, "Oh, this doesn't look right. Oh, it's why didn't I do this?" Or, like, there's so many thoughts that are in a negative space that I'm trying really hard to always quickly snap into reframing it to positive and and look at different challenges that we are faced with in a way that you speak to yourself as I'm grateful for this challenge because it is causing me to uh, lift up, to rise, to take on the challenge, and to succeed. And I think it's important that we just keep reframing positive, not always, and even something as simple as passing by a mirror or waking up, just look in the mirror and say, I love you, you're awesome, and you're going to make this a great day. Even something as simple as that can really have an impact on you. If stepping on the scale can dictate to you whether you've got a really bad day or a good day based on that number going up a little or down a little, you might want to pack away the scale for a little while, assess your plan. Are you doing what you feel is leading you in the right direction? Have you had some slips? And think about them not as slips or relapses, call them a learning experience. What happened and why? Was I not prepared? What was my mindset? Am I still trying to fill an emotional void? Am I eating to numb my feelings? What is going on? Learn from it and move on with a little shift in your plan of how you're going to avoid those moments, those triggers, those temptations, and keep thinking to yourself that you can do this. It's it's gonna be one of your hardest challenges in your life. If it's anything like for me, that's what it was for me, and that's what it's become to me, and my realization of, my thoughts were like, "Gosh, why did this have to happen to me? Why did I have to be so, uh, so addicted to processed foods? And why was I so susceptible to turning to food to comfort myself? And why did I continue to keep binging and then trying to stop and binging and stopping? And why? Like, why was I given this pain to suffer? And of course, I can look at it now and say there was a purpose for this. Um, if me being able to verbalize what I've been through and how you can get through this and how uh, for me it was the utmost importance to be in within a group. I found that little tiny zeroing in on health group way back in 2009, and it was just so beneficial to have the community. And so that's one of my main messages is that I feel it's so important to not feel isolated because that's the quickest way back into what I call the carb ditch. And how important it is to feel the support and the accountability of others around you who are succeeding and doing the same thing. And so I'm 5 years in on hosting my member group. There's lots of groups, but I encourage you to become actively engaged. Don't, addictions love isolation. And when we sit back and just let ourselves wallow in solo, it is well known in the addiction world, not just for food addiction, that you have a huge, much, much, much higher success rate when you are within a group. So let me look at some of, oh, good morning, Rex. I got to spend time with Rex yesterday and the day before here in Montana. Um, Danny in Boston says, "Hi from Boston. Met the morning of the Boston meetup, talked about the upcoming Quebec." Oh, yeah. So Mont Tremblant, I've never been before, but it is going to be an amazing, very intimate retreat. I think there's going to be, I forget, 12 or 14 guests. I think it's half full right now. It's gonna be myself, Bella, Dr. Kiltz, and Maria Emmerich in this, like, spectacular, if you go to the website and look at pictures of this, and yeah, we're gonna cook together, hang out, talk, hike, chat, spend time together, and the like I said, the place is like, an amazing, amazing, I guess it's an Airbnb, but so cool. I've never been to Mont Tremblant, and I am really looking forward to exploring. I've heard it's fabulous, so Teresa said, "Loved going to the meetup too so far." Marcy says, "It's hot in Arizona." Um, yeah, and I feel like once you've been to a meetup, it you get the bug. And I hope a lot of you are planning on coming to attend in Tampa, Hack Your Health in November. So that's not technically a meetup itself. It's like a 3-day conference where you get to hear lots of really interesting presentations. They have this exhibit hall with, I don't know, 100, different vendors where you get to learn about all sorts of different things and different, Peterson's is always there. And they're always cooking up bacon and sausage all day, handing out free samples. But all sorts of biohacking kind of things. And they have, at least the past 2 years that I attended when it was in Austin, they have a DEXA company that drives in their DEXA vans, and for a big discount, I think it's like, I don't know, 60 or $70, you can get a DEXA. They've got a real great computer schedule. You just pick your time, go in, takes all of like 5 minutes, and, but all sorts of really cool things like that. And on top of that, let me just mention during Hack Your Health, which is November 14th, 15th, 16th, Scott Everson, who puts on Meat Stock, he's got a very large Airbnb, I think on some sort of waterway. And so he's hosting a retreat during Hack Your Health. So it's kind of like your hotel. You'll be eating dinner with us, and there'll be a van transportation to the convention hall for the Hack Your Health each day. And yeah, that's going to be like a really cool, like 3-day meetup, in addition to the Hack Your Health. And then the day after, Monday the 17th, if you are so inclined to come with a whole lot of us, we're jumping on a ship right out of Tampa for a 5-day cruise, Monday to Friday. I have about 50 people signed up so far, and it's Bella and Max, myself, Jenny Middich, and I'm pretty sure Dr. Boz and her team are coming on that cruise also. So, yeah, just a way of gathering each night for dinner. I talk to the food officers and try to make sure that we can have choices that are seed oil free. And then, of course, I am really passionate about getting people to understand light hygiene and the importance of light and getting outside. So, what better way than taking a cruise down to Mexico? It goes to Cozumel and Costa Maya. And yeah, being able to hang out on the beach together And yeah, it's so much fun. I've posted 3 cruises that I've had, some Carb Sober cruisers with me, and some of them are very small and intimate. Some of them end up growing very large, but I do have 2 cruises in September that still have availability out of Manhattan, a 5-day to Bermuda and an 8-day up to Boston, Maine, and Halifax, and back down to Manhattan. And those are gonna be very small number. We're definitely gonna have 1 table, dining together each night, and it's on Virgin Voyages, adults only. Amazing food on this, uh, cruise line, and it's on their brand new ship that will be only on its, 2nd and 3rd voyage ever, so pretty excited about that. And I'll put a link, let me see if I can put a link in here right now. I put a link, or so I think. Did I? I think I did. And that link will list all of the upcoming cruises. And there's a Cancun all-inclusive the last week of January, and then the first week of February is a cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. So lots of things to choose from if you're so inclined. And I'm also attempting to plan a ski trip in March for anybody who's a ski bunny. It'll be out west somewhere, Colorado, Utah. I don't know. I have to figure out because I need to find an all-inclusive because it won't work. If I have a group even of just, let's say, 15 to 20 people, it's so difficult, especially in spring ski season, to go and get a restaurant reservation for that many people. Whereas at an all-inclusive, they have it set up more where uh, don't have to make a reservation and large groups can dine together. All right. Thank you again all for jumping in. So let me just say one thing that um, I feel I feel really um, I get emotional when I think about it, of how many people have come up to me and said how much they enjoy this weekly talk. And even though today I have nothing planned other than hopefully somebody in here is going to pop in and start asking questions, and I can talk about whatever you guys want to. Let me just see. Oh, Linda met me here in Bozeman, Linda with a Y, Morgenthaler. And okay, Susanna says, "What do you think of bone broth with butter and salt as a coffee sub in the morning? Is that good?" That is fabulous. I am, I don't want to get this reputation as a coffee disser. But I mean, I love coffee. I drank coffee most of my life, through college, grad school, and beyond. And I got to the point where, when you start realizing there's a lot of things hidden from us, and a lot of truths silenced, and I became passionate to find them all out. And I realized there was something big here with the food thing, pushing whole grains, fiber, lots of fruits and vegetables. And meanwhile, the big food companies just spent, millions of dollars on addiction experts to be on staff to make this food highly addictive. And the processed food industry has just exploded, and many are addicted to that food. And if you think for a minute it's not a huge problem, think to yourself sometimes about how much our thoughts go to some of these favored foods that we've had in the past. But yeah, then when it came for me to think also about coffee, I think it's a big scam out there. There's a coffee shop on every corner, and it's like one of the most highly um, abused and addicted drugs. It raises your cortisol, that attaches to your adenosine receptors. It definitely messes up your sleep. There's a long half life. You can't just say, no, no, I'm fine, because you don't know you're fine until you really truly have understood. what is going on. They've done studies where they've had somebody get a brain scan, drink a cup of coffee, go back and scan, and showed the detrimental effect of oxygen to the brain. Um, so I I wanted off, and I switched to decaf for a while, and of course, there's downsides to decaf. There's still caffeine in it and the process, and then people say, "Well, I get the mold-free Swiss water, blah, blah, blah." I, you know, I think that, when you really think about getting off of a habit, and I see it even here in this Airbnb I'm in, sharing with, some others here on the team, um, the compulsion of people pretty much the moment they get up down to the kitchen, and they're scurrying to, who's got the cold brew? Oh, look, they've got a Keurig here, and oh, look, they've got Pete's medium roast for the they have actually a little coffee room in this Airbnb, and it just makes me really think about how um, people are robotic in their routines as what they do. And I mean, I know. I love the warmth, the aroma, the ritual, and I just substituted it. And then once you're off it, you don't even have to substitute it. But if you're looking for that warm heat in the morning, yeah, bone broth is awesome. I've shown on other videos the hot nog drink. That's basically it depends. You can do all sorts of variations of it, but you can do hot water and then you froth in either raw egg yolks or a full raw egg. I know some people go, "Oh my God, no, that's not good." Oh, it's absolutely fabulous. It kind of foams a little bit. It gives it a little bit of a richness. Um, you can, if you're still on heavy cream, put a dollop of that in. Vanilla bean powder, you can get it on Amazon. I'll put a link to the one I used in the notes after I get off. Um, put some of that in, a little cinnamon in, and it's fabulous. You can even put a little coconut oil in and butter. And so, see, I'm kind of just giving you there is an exact recipe. Just write down your exact version that you love. I'm throwing out like, here's what you can put together and find what you love and then follow that and, do that for a little while. And you can really easily, I mean, I don't wanna say easily get off coffee, but you just set your mind to it that, it leaches minerals from your bones, it's not healthy, even though you'll find tons of studies out there funded by the coffee bean industry, and it's actually a seed, it's not a bean, it's roasted, crushed, boiling water poured over, and then you're bathing your microbiome in it every day. So, uh, I've had so many people, especially in my group, because in my member group, we have a coffee quitters section. And for those who are doing that, attempting that, to be together and chat, and there's all sorts of information in there and my nog recipe um, and yeah, do it to, do it together. But yeah, just think about your why. I've had so many who went into that carb quitters section and quit and are now like 6 months off and said, I never in a million years ever thought I could or would give up coffee. And I am so glad I did. And that they have definitely noticed positive changes. So, yeah, I think bone broth is an awesome substitute. Hot, what they call silver tea, which is either just hot water or hot water. What I do, hot water with a little squeeze of a wedge of lemon. Tastes like beautiful herbal lemon tea. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. I never thought I would like hot water, but I do. Um, there's that, and then that nog drink. Those are really my 3 go-to, substitutes to make it through giving it up. Some people actually who are a 2, 3, 4 cup a day, person might need to, Some of them will do caffeine pills and then break it in half and wean down just so that they avoid the headache part of it. So I think that, you'll figure it out. Angel was at the Palm Springs meetup. Yeah, that was, I guess, 2 weeks ago now after I came over from LA, that red carpet event. Have any of you seen that animal documentary yet? I think it was, still number 1 in documentaries, I think in multiple countries now. Pretty cool. So, um, let's see. Oh, good morning, Cindy LaCasa. Good to see you here. Mike Shaw was on a bike ride and now in. Oh, okay. BD Isaac says he's still doing the interval walking and he said game changer. I don't know. Some of you else can comment. Have you done that? If you haven't seen my video, I think I did it about, I don't know, a month or two ago. And the 30 minutes of interval power walking in a Japanese study was shown to be actually better than 10,000 steps. And 10,000 steps is 5 friggin' miles. And sometimes, most times, a lot of times, I don't have the time for a 5-mile walk every single day. And this 30-minute power walk has been really a game changer for me, and I feel different doing it. I feel like I'm getting stronger faster. Stronger meaning, like, when I went on my hikes this past week, I really felt, in great cardio shape, and I do a couple sprints, so I try um, 1 or 2 times during each day's walk to do, and I vary it. And people say, "Well, how long do you do it?" And all these kind of, it's whatever. So I just pick like a tree, a mailbox, a car parked up ahead, and I break into the sprint gradually. I don't just go from my walk to as hard as I can sprint. You just start, and then, so, I take about 5 seconds to break into the full hard, as fast as I can, as if I'm being chased by a bad guy, sprint, and I sprint to my goal. How much time is it? I don't know, 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Sometimes I really push it and I'll pick a farther target and it might be 30 seconds. I used to do the 1 alligator, 2 alligator, 3 alligator. I used to count alligators because that's about a 1-second interval. And I would do that and decide how many seconds. I'm sitting on the floor here and I just got a cramp. um, and but really, really beneficial for reducing visceral fat. It's fun. I mean, how many of you have really done an all out sprint since you were a kid? Like, we don't typically all out sprint hard like that. And the other thing that's beneficial too, and it sounds silly, and I usually do definitely feel silly doing it, but skipping, I'm gonna have to look into that. There's something about skipping um, that was beneficial. So sometimes as I'm doing my interval power walk, I will do about 10 seconds of skipping and fall into my sprint and then slow it back down to my comfortable pace for 3 minutes, then 3 minutes fast pace and kind of just keep going. And then a lot of times I end up, so I'll end up doing an hour instead of 30 minutes just because I'm enjoying it or I'm listening to a podcast. But yeah, I'm hoping some of others, I've heard from a few how much they love this interval walking. So um, oh, Louis Lotito says, one of those people loves the Carb Sober Sunday sessions, and I met you. Oh yeah, that's right, in Boston. Um, yeah, and I love when people come up to me and tell me that this is making an impact on them, and that it is something that they look forward to, and that it's really helpful because it helps it helps push me. Now, I'll tell you, I easily could have said, "Well, I'm away in Montana on vacation. I'm gonna skip this Sunday," but I'm like, "No way, this is awesome. I can do this and catch my plane today since there's a 2-hour time change." So, um, okay, let's pull over some questions here. Gray Wolf says, "I went to the store yesterday and Maxwell House coffee's up to $17. There's no way in perdition I'm paying that much for coffee." Yeah, you know what? And I didn't even really address that part of it. And that's another interesting thing that I need to add in. I have the the framework of this big coffee video I am wanting to do and put out on YouTube, just giving information. I don't, I don't give a rip. Thank you, Carnivore Ray, who happens to be here. I don't give a rip if you decide to drink coffee or not. I'm really totally fine with it. You choose to put in your body what you think is appropriate, and I'm okay with that because hopefully, here's my thing. I want you to be educated about it and not just go along and, oh my gosh, coming here when I was in yeah, I guess I was in Newark Airport, to fly here, and the line, I thought it was a queue for a gate to board a plane. Like, as I'm walking along, I see this long line of people. I'm thinking they were doing boarding groups 1, 2, and 3. It was Starbucks, and it's just so interesting to look at that, just like I find it interesting watching people queue up and buy donuts, like, it just seems so foreign to me to think that I would put that in my body. I actually now, like, I don't like the way, if I've been given a caffeinated instead of decaffeinated by mistake or something, I can tell, with a I don't know how to describe it, some heart palpitation feeling, and I don't like the way I feel now, and I drank a cup a day every day for many, many, many years, many. So but yeah, the cost factor is another thing that I'm gonna have to just throw in there about, especially for the people who queue up and do Starbucks every day, and think about, you could save up enough to come on a cruise with me where they serve unlimited coffee for free. Uh, just joking. Um, okay, so here we go. Cindy says coffee's definitely going to be a tough one for her. Today is the first day without stevia. All right, yeah. So, you know, I'm not here to say that, especially people who are brand new into finding this ketovore, carnivore-ish, carnivore whole world here, right? It might not be ideal to pull the rug out from under yourself and attempt to give up the bean at the same time. Yeah, we call it giving up the bean. Are you back on the bean? That's what we say, but we should call it the seed. Call it what it is, right? Um, so, not that I'm discouraging you from trying the stopping the coffee thing, because it's just so lovely feeling. Um, I just love being off of it, and I never thought I would say that either. I loved, I had my favorite mug. And then sometimes we have to be cautious that coffee is often just a vehicle for heavy cream and sweetener. And that's a whole nother issue. But everybody's path in this is different. And, it's a tough one. It's something, there's a book by Alan Carr called The Easy Way to Quit Caffeine. It's a really inexpensive 90-minute audio book, and it's a regular book too, but the audio book's pretty awesome. It's only 90 minutes. You can go on a 90-minute walk, and by the time you're done with it, I've had 2 different people listen to that and literally throw their coffee maker in the trash the next morning and gave it up from that. So it's interesting. Um, all right, let's keep going. Professor JLR says, I'm seeing a lot of older videos pop up on my feed regarding eating sticks of butter. What are your thoughts about eating so much butter? Oh boy. So this is a an interesting topic right now for me because I I'm going to say, of course, I just always just lay it out as my opinion from my experience in this. There's so many people who eat that way. Bella, steak and butter gal, I don't know whether she still eats a stick or two of butter a day. I think that's a kind of about what she did. um, Courtney Luna eats a lot of butter. Dr. Elizabeth Bright is a big proponent of keeping those fats really high for healthy hormones. So, we get all of this information about, okay, fat, 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 need a lot of fat. Butter's an easy way. Because personally, I know some people will actually just eat raw beef suet. So you can get typically for free from a butcher. If you make friends with your butcher, you can get beef suet, 99 cents a pound or free, and people will freeze it, eat it frozen, or just eat it outright raw. Some will take tallow, whip it, add a little vanilla extract, and then freeze the whipped tallow into little bite-sized cubes and that whole thing. So these are different ways, of course, just for getting fat in other than because some people are not tolerant of butter. But let me say my big but right here now with the butter. um, this girl right here, and I've spoken about it at some of the past, I guess, month or two um, videos I've done that I have realized for me I can't eat that high of fat and get weight off or keep weight off. It just is an absolute I've proven it to myself over and over again. Uh, Other than potentially doing a fat fast day, which will take weight off because it's almost like fasting. But when you really get that bad hunger pang, you go ahead and eat some brown butter bites, 2 or 3 tablespoons. And then the pang goes away, you go on your, day, and then later in the day, it's really hitting, so maybe you do, some more butter or some beef fat cracklings, I don't know, right? It's not a hugely I know Kelly Hogan does it by making heavy cream carnivore ice cream, she'll eat, like, 9 ounces of heavy cream, um and freeze it for a couple hours, and it's kind of I guess you can call it carnivore ice cream. Without the ice cream maker or anything, you can really just whip heavy cream, put a little vanilla and cinnamon in it, and freeze it, and do a fat fast day that way. We're not talking about that. We're talking about lots of videos popping up eating sticks of butter. I put on weight when I eat sticks of butter. Um, I have been experimenting because I am just trying to do what I feel I need to do to be optimally healthy, to live a great quality of life, and feel great and be able to do what I want to do. Right. So I'm on that. This whole thing's a big journey. I'm 16 years in carnivore, but I am altering and tweaking things. And going lower fat has been a game changer for me. And so somebody could come at me and say, "But what about your hormones? You're going to wreck your hormones. You need a lot of fat." I'm like, you know what? I just had blood work done and I had female, um, I guess a female panel. So it did all the progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, thyroid panel. Um, Trust me, my body fat had gotten up to I'm gonna say 29.5. I don't know, it's probably 30 at one point too, but, too high, and that crept on through these past 5 years of menopause, and I kept thinking, "Oh, I can just keep carnivoring harder and, it will work its way off," and just, you sardine fast, you dry fast, you try to kickstart your metabolism and all sorts of things that weren't working until I really made a huge effort of doing lower fat. And I'll go into that more in detail as the next 2 months go on. I'm really trying to see what I'm actually doing and if it's sustainable, or if I don't want this to be another like hack. I'm not doing PSMF, so to speak, because those kind of days, I know you're really only supposed to do PSMF days like 2 to 3 days a week. Um, and then there's a lot of different versions, and then your normal carnivore on the other days. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do as far as maybe throwing in a PSMF day, but I don't do PSMF days, which protein sparing modified fat is yeah, it's keeping your fat below 30, but also pulling your protein down, and it's not in it's not so easy to do, and I don't know, maybe that is a good lever to pull and to keep on track, but as of now, I'm just pulling my fat way down and have been dropping weight. So that's my feeling on eating so much butter. It doesn't work for me. So okay. Um, Here we go. A1 Savage says carnivore, sprinting, sunlight, and light therapy, prayer, meditation. Still working on it, but it's good. Yeah. And so one of the things that I like to make sure I keep reinforcing, and some people have questions about, these amber glasses and not really sure exactly when to wear them. And basically, and yeah, I should have mine on now because I'm in front of this computer screen, but I have a huge window in front of me that is open and it's just a screen. So I'm getting the full broad spectrum of the daylight, which is helping to offset the skewed blue light that's coming off here. So when I work on my laptop or any devices outdoors or near an open window, it's not necessary to keep them on. Um, once, but during the day, if I'm indoors, I will have them on. Same thing in the evening. I have these which have a +2. You can see the prescription in them. It's a +2 reader. And I wear these at night, but if I'm going to do some last minute work, and I'll put them on. Now, the dark orange, darker than these are what more we call amber. The deep orange and the reds, you only wear once the sun has actually set. You're not wearing them during the day. But then also remember on on your phone screen, the power button 1, 2, 3, you can turn your screens to that red, and you can also do that on tablets. Doesn't do it automatically. You can go to YouTube and just type in on the search bar, how do I get to red screen on iPhone or Android? I don't know if Android does that triple power button, whatever your phone might do, but that's helpful, really helpful too, to reduce the amount of blue light. And we really should not have blue light at all in the evening. And I was going to show you. Um, there was studies, and I'm just pulling this one up. There was studies that show the detriment to our health of having light sources after the sun has set. Um, okay, so here's research studies. These are actual research articles linking artificial light at night, which is called ALAN, ALAN, artificial light at night. You don't want to expose your eyes, your brain, your skin to any of it, ideally. But so these are studies linking artificial light at night with all sorts of health issues. Disrupted sleep patterns. Blue light interferes with melatonin production, leading to insomnia and poor sleep quality. Increased risk of obesity. Disrupted circadian rhythms can contribute to weight gain and obesity. So these are actual studies that I'll have to see if I can get the PubMed numbers if anybody's interested in looking at the actual studies. Higher risk of type 2 diabetes. Poor sleep and circadian misalignment can negatively affect insulin sensitivity and blood sugar regulation. Cardiovascular disease. Chronic sleep disruption and circadian rhythm disturbances are linked to an increased risk of heart disease and hypertension. Increased cancer risk. Great, right? Particularly breast and prostate cancers due to melatonin suppression and circadian disruption. Mood disorders. Blue light exposure at night is linked to a higher risk of depression and anxiety. Impaired cognitive function. Disrupted sleep from blue light exposure can lead to cognitive decline and memory problems over time. Can we say dementia? Metabolic syndrome, a combination of conditions including increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat around the waist, it's called the muffin top, and abnormal cholesterol levels is more common with disrupted circadian rhythms. So I'm telling you guys, this is something seriously important to pay attention to. And I know I might come across as, let me see if I have in here, as this weirdo. Here we go. Hang on a sec. I'm reaching into my suitcase. It's next to me on the floor. But I'm, people I travel with. So I have some, carnivore friends through this carnivore world who sometimes will come share a cabin on a cruise with me, or I might be in an Airbnb like I was the first part of this week with my friend, and I kind of feel like I impose my circadian health onto them, and I think it sort of drives people crazy who don't really fully get it or understand because I my body is telling me so importantly now that I have adapted and adopted this circadian health, a circadian pattern that I do. If said person is in said cabin or Airbnb and flips on the light switch, and it's well, basically, I don't want the light switch switched on at any time during the day, especially not after sunset. But at no time during the day do I want these LED toxic skewed blue light sources in my eyes and on my skin. And so I travel with, okay, so these are these, so technically this is a little book light, right? You put it on in the back of the book and you click the light. So see how it's amber? It goes to white also. It has the 3 different temperatures. But of course, I just leave it on amber. It's got low, medium, and high settings for brightness. So these are both similar. They've got these great little bendy cords. This is another one of those clip-on, quote unquote, air quote, book lights. But what do? I go into the bathroom when I get into a hotel room or wherever I'm at, cruise cabin, and I will go into the bathroom first and clip this just like onto the towel rack or onto a cup that's sitting next to the sink. And it just stays there. And when I go into the bathroom, boop, I've got a nice, beautiful, low glow. Here's the other thing with low and high. Once the sun has set, you don't want any light to be emanating from above your head because, again, the angle is telling, oh, look at my bicep. The angle is telling your brain and your eyes that what? The sun's out and it's coming from a high direction, middle of the day. And it does a lot of different processes in the pineal gland, the SCN, suprachiasmatic nucleus. It gets really complicated. I don't even want to get into the complicated parts of it. I just want to make an impact to tell you this stuff is important. So keep the light low, just on the counter, right? And this one, maybe I will, they have like a nice little bottom on them. I will put a link. This has got a nice, like silicone soft bottom, so it can sit right on right on the nightstand and be just a light like that. And that's all I use. I literally that's oh, well, no, one more. Depends if there's room in the suitcase. This is called this brand is Huga. I will, like I said, I'll put the link to um I have a circadian rhythm section of products that I bought and use myself. This all of these things rechargeable with a C cord, not even one of those stupid mini ones that you have to figure out and find. Just the C cord, the C charger, and it lasts really a pretty long time. This one also rechargeable, and this one tap. Now, if I tap and hold, this will go brighter or it will go, you can see it's going dimmer, 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 and we'll go back brighter. And then multiple taps. So now here's the red. So when it's really late and the sun has set and you are prepping for bed and you just need light to get yourself around, the red one is ideal. And then it also has a white one that never sees the light of day. But yeah, I travel with that. I used to also, what did I traveled with a bulb. I would take out the hotel lamp bulb and put in my amber bulb, but I don't do that anymore because these things they're so lightweight, and they're just so easy to use and have. These things are really inexpensive, and so I and light and small and perfect for keeping your circadian rhythm. And then, of course, I get out in the morning sunlight every day like it's your job. I want you to do that. I know it sounds woo woo and weird and stupid, but just trust me. Trust me when I'm telling you this. It's important. It's really important. And you're going to notice differences. And I've already had people who notice differences when they pay attention to wearing their blue blocker glasses. And I'm going to tell you, I'm in a position um, of not wanting to get cataract surgery. And me as an eye doctor, I used to, before I knew better, and I was trained by centralized medicine, centralized healthcare, which is so annoying to think that that's how I went through and learned. But yeah, cataracts are not just inevitable, and if you live old enough, you're going to have cataracts. And um, cataract surgery is safe and simple and easy and effective. Yes, it is, but when your cloudy lens gets removed and they replace it with a polymer acrylic replacement lens, they put in a lens that blocks UV. And so we don't want to have that if we can help it. So if any of you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and even 60s and have not yet had cataract surgery, let's go, guys. Pay super, super diligent attention to blocking the computer screen. If you're working on a computer all day, please put on these. You can be the light yellow, not the clear blue blockers. They do not do enough. But I am I am convinced with proper diet and proper light hygiene that we can hopefully prevent the progression of cataracts and not need cataract surgery. So that's my circadian rhythm little dissertation for today. Um, this is funny. Mike Shaw says, those jerks at Big Coffee, they got me. Yeah, think about it as another conspiracy. If you want to go down that road, it makes people there's actually videos about this, about how it dumbs down the population. And I remember specifically, I was I live in New Jersey, and Hurricane Sandy came through, and there was literally no power for like 2 weeks, and it was devastating, the flooding and all of that. And I remember people driving and posting pictures of a Dunkin' Donuts that had a generator, and so people could get their coffee. And there was a line a mile long. It was crazy. It was very interesting. But yeah, people are really hooked on it, hooked on the bean. Um, yes. And here's another good point, Jean. Thank you for reminding me on this. Sorry, gotta fix my other leg. Um, that you don't want coffee to be the first thing that hits your stomach in the morning. What are you supposed to do? You wait till you get hungry. And see, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm not hungry in the morning." Why? You're not hungry because you get up and you throw coffee in heavy cream, even if you do black coffee. Because it does suppress your appetite. Blah blah blah. It is not natural to our bodies, and you need to bring back your natural hunger, your natural leptin and ghrelin, and get off of the bean. And so Charles Washington, way back when I was on that in that original Zeroing In on Health group, always spoke about this. You do not drink coffee first thing in the morning with no food. If you get up and you're hungry, you eat breakfast and then you have your coffee if you are drinking coffee. Um, it's really not good to just get up and use that as your appetite suppressant. And trust me, when people say, "I'm not hungry, I just have my cup of coffee," well, go without your coffee and then wait and see what your actual natural hunger is. And yeah, there's many, many reasons that we would be benefited by stopping the coffee habit. Um, Okay, so yeah, MCT oil and coconut oil. I am a big thumbs up on that, but not in coffee. And I don't do the heavy cream because of two things. I try to really limit my dairy way, way down to just kind of social occasions, going out or being on a trip. I tried the beautiful raw cheese that Miller's Biofarm sent here for the meetup. But yeah, and then again, I just was talking about lowering the fat. I still do a little bit of coconut oil or MCT oil on occasion in my little hot nog, what I call hot nog drink, if I have one. Again, it's not a daily habit. I try to get out of those kind of habit things. So, um, but yeah, if you listen to Dr. Mary Northrup, I think her name is, she's got fascinating information about the benefits of MCT oil, and coconut oil, and a combination of the two, but basically one or the other is also just perfectly fine. Bev says she stopped coffee cold turkey 3 years ago. First 3 days, a little headache, but not bad. Drank hot water for a bit and then nothing now. It wasn't that hard to quit even after years of coffee. Yeah, I instead of doing those caffeine pills that I've told you some people have done, but I say rip the Band-Aid off, deal with it, and then embrace that headache as a detoxing. Like realize that your body is detoxing off of a drug, and let it happen and let it detox and say, dang, look what my body is revolting that it's not getting its drug. But that's just kind of my little side opinion on it. Oh, yeah, Angie is here, from over in the UK, and she does that same recipe that instead of calling it hot nog, she calls it hot creamy, and, yeah, she's been 0 carbs since 2005, long time. Um, alright. It's been an hour already. I can't believe it. And I would love to just hang on here and keep answering questions because this is really awesome for me because you guys are all my family as much as I hope that you feel that being here too. And I'm gonna jump off, go finish packing my bag, and head to the airport, and we'll see you next week. Oh, and for those of you, just please remember, if you are becoming, I'd love to have you as a member in my member group, um, which I will just quick put, I always have that link down in the notes, but I would love to meet you there. I go live 3 to 4 times a week in small groups so we can talk one on one and discuss your particular problems and issues. And but there's also a membership here in the YouTube community. And I think I'm not sure. Somebody can tell me. I think it's like $4.99 a month. And what I want is for each of you who are currently channel members to send me your email address, and you're going to send it to my email, Carnivore Doctor 2020. Remember, like 2020, like an eye doctor, Carnivore 2020 at Gmail. And because I want to get a full email list so I can have a private, separate meeting for all of you channel supporters. So thank you so much. I will have a link for the channel membership. And also, I'll remember to put the Circadian Rhythm Amazon list link in there. Also, it might not get done right away because I kind of have to rush. But thank you so much for joining in. And hopefully, we'll see you next week. Bye.